Hello and welcome back to my English classes. Now today we are going to see from class 10th first flight poem 4 Amanda. Now this poem is written by Robin Klein and he describes about the issues of children growing up and their upbringings. First I will tell you the central idea, the poetic devices, and then I'll go with the explanation of the poem paragraph wise. This poem is about the issues of children's growing up and their upbringings. It highlights the struggles faced by the child. Indirectly, the poet stresses that children should not devoid of freedom and spontaneity in their natural growth. Means the children should not be stopped from freedom. The parents have a great responsibility to bring up their children to be a good citizen later. Now, this is the responsibility of parents also to see in which line the child is going. In Amanda, her parents prepare her to be acceptable in the society by restricting her in many ways. Means they want her to be accepted by the society, but they have many restrictions on her. But they do not feel that in doing so they curtail her freedom and space. She feels this restriction so much so that she doesn't want to grow up but remain an orphan. Means the restrictions were so much with her by her parents that she didn't want to grow up. She wanted to be like an orphan. Continuous taunting, nagging and fault finding made her moody. Ziddi bana diya usko. Obviously, the result do not come out as desired. The moral of the poem is loud, lucid, and clear for all. Then the poetic devices used in was alliteration, repetition of initial content sounds in the same line, stop that scorching, start sound. Metaphor, figure of speech showing comparison of two unidentical things. Orphan, who does not have nagging parents over them. Silence is golden, silence having the attribute of gold. Now we will see the poem in detail. First paragraph. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. Now here, in this stanza, Amanda is instructed straight away by her parents not to bite her nails, not to sit like a lazy person with her shoulders bent. As a jhukke, she is not allowed to sit. This is a bad norm and lacks proper etiquette. The tone and the tenor of instruction of how to sit, her parents sitting slouching, is not acceptable. Many times it happens in our lives also that our parents or our elders force us to do the things which we don't want to do, and that leads to negativity in the mind of the children. Is decorating and insulting. Amanda is getting trained in social and personal equity, but the manner is highly demeaning. Means she is educated, she is being brought in the society, but lot of restrictions were there on her head. This implies a suggestion to parents of young girls as to how they should bring up their children. Yes, it also depends on you also, but on parents also. Both have a equal boundaries and they should take care of each other how to bring the child in a good way. The stress is on making Amanda acceptable to human society, but the modus operandi is willfully wrong. Means the technique which was used by her parents were wrong. Her name in the end of the stanza is made to sound in the form of exclamation as irritating or insulting. Means the outcome of it was this, that she was not considered as a good one. It expresses Amanda's parents' wrong method of teaching and training her. Okay. At times it also happens in our life also that our parents force to do that, sit like this. Now in public place also many times it happens, don't do that, sit down properly, and go and bring me the glass of water, and this feels insulting when we are growing up. So in the same way Amanda was feeling insulted. Second paragraph. There is a language emerged sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. Now here he says that in this stanza is given in brackets and throws light on the presented situation of the poem, means the present time of the poem. Also, it is an imagination escape of Amanda, who is highly sensitive and feels greatly troubled by the taunts of her parents, means taunting way में बोलना, बुरी तरीके से बोलना, publicly बेइज्जती करना. All this was felt, and she was creating a negative effect of her parents in her life. She escapes in imagination to her own world, into a sea which is far away from nagging commands of her parents. Now her feelings was this, and she dreamt of this thing, that she is somewhere around the sea, and which is far away from the taunts and the commands of her parents. This imagined world is free from any kind of restriction. Now, the imagination of Amanda was this, that she is living by the sea and she is free. She is free from the restrictions. There are no restraints here for Amanda. She imagines herself like a free and joyful mermaid, sailing freely as she likes in the element water. This world of Amanda is a blissful place where she wants to be forever. Now, many times it happens that we also feel, काश हम यहाँ रह रहे होते, काश हम ये कर रहे होते, or we would have done this, we would have done that. And the interesting thing is this, that if we are doing the things which we like, then it is good. But if suppose the things which we are not liking but we have to do, we don't do it happily. Mermaid is now a symbol of freedom and wonder for her, as she is dreaming of that she is living beside the sea and the mermaid is there. So she is saying this, that mermaid is a symbol of freedom and wonder for her. It implies that children in such situation act like this. Okay, third paragraph. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. Now here you see that all the restrictions, all the time blah blah blah, all the time taunts, all the time restrictions were put on Amanda. Now in this stanza she says the poet brings out Amanda's in her physical world again. In the previous paragraph she went into dreams, but in this paragraph again she back to the original world. Amanda's parents ask her if she has finished her homework and tidied her room. She is also instructed to clean her shoes. The pattern of instruction amount to treat Amanda in a humiliating tone. Means जैसे humiliate करना, परेशान करना, बदतमीजी से बोलना. All this was like it. It implies that Amanda doesn't care for these instructions, as she feels disgusted with the nagging attitude of her parents. Now many times it happens that we don't like, so we don't do the work, or we don't like the attitude of our parents many times. Equally, her parents adopt a tense tone involved in I thought I told you to clean the shoes. The exclamation mark after her name reveals this aspect. It points out the possibility that Amanda is getting obstinate and her parents are losing their head onto her. Means here it is seen that Amanda is not liking the attitude of her parents because they were forcing her to do the things. Next paragraph. I am an orphan roaming the street. I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. Now here she feels like she is an orphan whose parents are no more. Parents are there, but the treatment which was given by her parents was like that she is an orphan. Nobody is understanding her feelings. In the stanza we find Amanda reacting to her mother's harsh words. She withdraws into her imaginative world again. Now she again went into her magical world. The first line, I am an orphan, expresses Amanda's helplessness and awful depression. Now in this, orphan word is a very big word, that the person is not having any parents. She is greatly digested and dejected and disappointed due to the irrational instructions of her parents, and continuous questioning simply troubles her emotionally. means the attitude, the negativity of parents, the restrictions of parents made her feel like she is an orphan, and all the time she is forced to listen to them. She has no shoes on her feet as she creates a pattern of on the soft dust with her bare and hushed feet. She walks in a hushed manner which throws light on her precarious condition, means she is so depressed that she feels like to walk on the sand barefoot, which feels her comfortable. She cherishes the silence and the freedom to do as she likes to do. Matlab, she is not having that freedom to live her life of her choice. She was always all the time forced to do this, do that, sit like this. She likes to remain in her world of imagination due to the nagging instructions of her parents. Mother. She loves silence and freedom just because of her parents' yelling and crude kind of commands. She likes the imagination in which she is dreaming of that she is completely free. Now you will see the next paragraph, paragraph 5. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your Amanda. Will you please look at me when I'm speaking to you, Amanda? Now here again, the harsh language is used by her mother. The instructions, or rather the cold commands of Amanda's parents continue. She is asked not to eat chocolates as well as she will develop ends on her face. It implies care and attention towards the external appearance and its values. Now here you see that as she was depressed by the tone, by the harsh language, by the restrictions of her parents not to eat even chocolates, she is made conscious of the natural phenomena of developing ink. This again is an indication of the value and necessity of social dependentiation of life. Her parents' nagging is, will you please look at me when I'm speaking to you? Is a cruel and monstrous in the sense that it's simply killing Amanda's spontaneous growth. Now, for the growth of children, physical need is always there, but mental peace should also be there. बिकॉज कहते हैं ना कि अगर खुशी से खाना नहीं खाया तो वो खाना नहीं लगता है. Now the depression of Amanda was not letting her to grow properly. This also expresses her parents' anger as she is scolded now. The value of her parents in the society gains more significance than the natural growth. Means, suppose if you are scolded in front of the society, in front of others, then you feel insulting. Okay, and that should not be done by the parents. Next paragraph. I am Rapunzel, I have not a care. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. I'll certainly never let down my bright hair. Now here she says, the poet says this, that Amanda is still in the world of imagination. Though she is listening, though the harsh language is used by her mother, even then her imagination is always there with her. She imagines to be a long golden haired Rapunzel who lived in the castle. She thinks that Rapunzel's life must have been very peaceful and content while living in that high tower. Now she is imagining this thing that like Rapunzel used to live in the tower freely, she also wanted to live. But she doesn't want Rapunzel's fate that was meted out of her. She doesn't want to let down her bright air. She seeks Rapunzel like life far away from the life she is. Now here the poet says this, that Amanda wanted that life which is full of freedom. She doesn't want to be caged up in any type of things. The inhuman treatment has snapped Amanda's inclination towards human society. Now she has developed a hatred for her elders and the people in the society. She doesn't want any person with her, as that would mean repetition of her suffering emotionally. Mother, she doesn't want anyone else to be close to her so that that person can insult her at any moment. She doesn't have any faith in human society and its cruel demands on her freedom and personal space. She doesn't like the people who are always saying to do this, do that, don't go there, sit down, stand up, like that. She doesn't like that society. Next paragraph. Stop that suckling at once, Amanda. You're always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nag it at you, Amanda. Now, here again, the restriction has been put on Amanda. Parents still continue with their heart's instructions. However, Amanda still remains in her own imaginative world. Okay, she was still thinking of her imagination. The parents believe that Amanda is not reacting and that is bad. Now her parents want that whatever they are saying, Amanda should listen to it and she should react on there. But she was not, because she was dreaming in her own world of freedom. Amanda apparently do not want the society to know their nagging Amanda. They are worried about how the society will perceive them through Amanda's remaining in the foul mood. Means the parents were thinking about this, that the things which Amanda was doing is not right. So what the people of the society will think about her? They are concerned with establishing a fair balance between Amanda wants and what the society expects from of Amanda. Now here parents are balancing that what she wants and what society wants. This is a cruel situation as Amanda's parents are harming Amanda's natural growth due to the compulsions of societal level. Yes, many times our parents used to mold us to try to develop in us the norms of society or many things which are not liked by the person, but he is forced to do it because of that what people will say, what in the people of the society will say about the person. That is why her parents were forcing her to do all that things. I hope you have understood the poem. Thank you.